Assalamualaikum, my name is Nur Atika binti Kamil, CF190162, and I will present about the background of study. So welding fuses two or more elements using heat, and welding generates a lot of heat, increasing the risk of explosions, fire, health problems, and death. Welders who were aware of potential dangers were the ones who wore PPE, which is personal protective equipment, and there was a disconnect that existed between the welder and his understanding of the insignificance of PPE. Despite the fact that welders who was aware of the risk, only 90% and 47% of them were not said that they're not required to utilize PPE. A lack of awareness may be to blame for welders' refusal to protect themselves from the hazard of their work by using PPE. So as for the problem statement, as the owner of construction company that will developing new facilities on the campus of UTHM, the company must do a preliminary risk assessment before beginning the project to reduce the possibility of hazards occurring on the work site while the project is in progress. This report discusses and prepares a risk control as shown in the hierarchy table. This report also includes commentary. There are two objectives in this study. First, to identify any welding hazard that occur on a regular basis or that have a high probability of occurring at work sites. Second, to determine the most critical safety and health hazard when handling the welding work, which will resulting in physical and mental damage toward the affected workers. The objective of this project and restrictions are only concentrated on the welding work that needs to be done at the construction site. The hierarchy guideline was used in the analysis that was done on the area that was surveyed in Malaysia, and control measures based on hierarchy of control are also offered to the most serious kind of potential dangers.
So hello, my name is Aurelio Documentary Card CF190069. So I'll be talking about the hazard and hierarchy of control in literature review. So hazard is a possible cause or circumstances that might lead to harm to individuals as an accident or disease, as well damage to property, the environment, or both. So hazard can be categorized into three as the primary hazard, that is environmental, health, and safety. So the hierarchy of control is a system for controlling risk in the workplace. The hierarchy of control is a step-by-step approach to eliminating or reducing risk, and it ranks risk control from the highest level of protection and reliability through the lowest and least reliable protection. So NIOSH define 5 rungs of hierarchy of control, that is elimination, substitution, engineering control, administrative control, and PPE. The hierarchy is arranged beginning with the most effective controls and proceed to the least effective. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and salam sejahtera. Before I start my presentation, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Nafaratul Akbar binti Ramlan, and I will present about the chapter 3, methodology. This chapter outlines the steps used to accomplish the study goal. The flowchart in this chapter starts with a welding procedure that requires for safety measures to be taken before welding work is done. Here are the flowcharts of welding procedure. There are 8 procedures of welding. First, need for protective equipment and proper maintenance, which is used proper PPE such as protective gloves, goggles, helmets, and respiratory protection. Second, protection against burn and harmful X-rays. It is advisable to use a darker lens and gradually transition to a lighter lens for visibility and protection of the eye and skin from exposure to X-rays. Third, fire and health safety precaution. Fire extinguishers need to be in approximately to the welding area as well as a fire alarm. Fourth, clear working environment. In construction site, flammable materials should be removed and welding should be done in a dry location. Fifth, regular inspection for gas leak. Gas Cylinders should be handled in a correct manner. 6. Proper storage for flammable products. Flammable liquids or gas should be stored away from welding area. 7. Proper checking and maintenance or electrical notes. Welders should wear proper gloves, ensuring that electrodes do not come in contact with wet clothing or skin. Lastly, continue education. This will help welders follow proper safety procedure and stay up to the date with best welding practice and standard. HIRAC is the stand for Hazard Identification, Risk Assessment, and Risk Control. Hazard Identification, Risk Assessment, and Risk Control, which is the basis of risk management, has recently become essential to the process of planning, managing, and operating an organization. Risk assessment and hazard identification are processes used to detect and analyze both current and potential dangers on a work site, as well as the strategy utilized to reduce or eliminate the hazard identified.
Assalamualaikum and a very good day. My name is Nurhazika Afifa binti Hanafia. So today I'll be talking about critical safety hazard. The health hazard of welding, cutting, and pressing depend on exposure to fume, gases, and UV radiation, respiratory irritation, metal fume fever, lung cancer, skin cancer, nervous system injury, and asphyxiation are conceivable. Brain eye damage, electrical shocks, scratches, and toe finger injuries are dangers, possible fires, and explosion. So, health hazard: all welding fumes, including mild steel fume, is a carcinogen. Since 2019, there is no self-welding fumes limit. Welders and nearby workers must evaluate risk to avoid exposure. Workers need self-healthy workplaces. Working in dangerous conditions may harm employees' short and long-term health, either it's chronic or not. All of the following welding-related illness or injury may be prevented. So this section covers how to use exposure and health monitoring to manage profession health hazard. And next, critical hazard control. In its 2019 safety alert, the HSE upped enforcement expectation for all welding cases, including mild steel. Employers must ensure all welding operations, regardless of duration, have suitable control. Employers must use local exhaust ventilation for indoor welding (LEV). Welding fumes can't be contained with general ventilation when engineering controls aren't enough. RPE must be used. Welders who walk outside must wear safety gear.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Fikriani binti Janudin alias Janudin, number matrix CF190046. I will present about a conclusion. Hierarch assessment in the welding working area is essential to be completed before beginning the work, since hierarch assessment can plan, manage, and operate the work. Hierarch can identify the hazard by collecting the data, analyze and classify the contributing factor that cause the hazard. The hierarch assessment showed that the safety hazard can be happening during the welding work activities, such as burn, eye damage, electrical shock, scrap and toe and finger injury, fire and explosion. However, this danger can be manageable by elimination and replacement measures such as engineering control. The hierarch assessment also showed that welding work activity can have health hazards such as cancer, obstructive pulmonary disease, acute respiratory eyes, and many more that can be affected workers. This hazard can be controlled by using a proper PPE during welding work activity, training and informing the workers about any control measure, using fire-resistant clothing during welding work activity, and using hearing protection. Recommendation: the employer need to ensure the workers have been trained and give a briefing about health and safety hazard before starting the work. Besides that, the regular inspection and maintenance of all mechanical and electrical systems have to be done before and after welding work activity, and do the supervision of workers during welding work activity. The employers need to allow only the trained and competent person to do welding work. The employees also need to wear proper and complete set of personal protective equipment (PPE) that are provided by by employers. Meeting project also need to be done frequently. Not only can get in touch between employers and employees, but also can discuss the case and issues that happen during the construction project. The data regarding health and safety hazard can be easily collected from the meeting to analyze the root of causes and further planning work. Thank you for listening.